So in terms of like my thoughts on him, I think he's definitely a troll. I don't think he's serious about a lot of the shit he says. I think a lot of it is just entertainment. But some of the shit I do think he's serious about is like some of the stuff that he talks about pertaining to like the New World Order and like his view on money more specifically. He's like, oh, money's not real. Like, money's just bullshit because of like fractional reserve banking. So he actually knows a little bit about that. And I was kind of surprised. I was like, okay, wow, this guy read a little bit online about that. So he seems to talk about that a little bit. But in terms of some of the stuff he says, I think he just goes for like, he's almost kind of like how Howard Stern was. Like, he's just a shock jock. So he'll just say shit to get people riled up, and then it'll just drive traffic to his Twitch streams, which he's been doing lately with like Adin Ross, XQC, and then the socialist Hassan Pecker. His name's Hassan Piker, but I like to say Hassan Pecker because it's funny. But yeah, he's just been like debating people and shit on stream. And I think the whole thing is it's kind of like a marketing ploy to drive people to like his two main things, which is like Hustlers University. God, you want to join Hustlers University for $50 a month and learn how to make money online?
No, I do not want to join Hustlers University. But no, he has a very interesting strategy with the way he does things. He doesn't make accounts, and basically, if I had to guess, what he's doing is he's buying all these bot accounts to comment on videos and streams and such to basically provide the social proof to get other people that are non bots to basically agree with him. So he's probably running like a sophisticated bot campaign to get more and more people to agree with some of his claims. But yeah, a lot of the stuff he says is not too outrageous, and then he says some stuff that is like completely outrageous and completely out of the question. And Hustlers University, it's basically just like an MLM scheme. It's like those those knife selling kits or
Cutco, Cutco,
yeah,
yep.
Cutco, whatever the fuck you just
Or
said.
Pampered, was it Pampered Chef or whatever? That's another
Yeah,
one.
Pampered Chef, Avon, Herbalife,
Amway.
yeah, Amway, all those like kind of you basically buy into the program, and then you make money. You don't buy into the program for like the benefits the program provides, but you buy into the program basically to sell to other people, and then you get like an affiliate commission or whatever. So like all the people in the program have an incentive to prop up his brand and make sure like he looks good to other people.
I mean, it's only $50 a month, and to be honest with you, I mean, first of all, I don't know if I trust whatever thing he's taking payments from. But for $50 a month, if you could figure out a way to get like a virtual credit card or something and just charge it for $50, or like a one-time thing, one of those like prepaid Visa gift cards or MasterCard things, I would think about it just to like try it out, and then maybe I would do a review and post it and just give my thoughts on it. Because I actually, you were there with me too. We did some shit years ago, and it's just all right. It's a funny story because we were just like laughing the whole time, and it was like really enjoyable for us. But there was someone that we used to know, and he was like super into like Tai Lopez. And Tai Lopez is like the Lamborghini knowledge in my garage guy with like the bookcases in his garage. That's how I knew he was full of shit, by the way. Who You don't keep bookcases in your garage. Like, that's just not a thing. Like, that you're a fucking retard. Especially because when you think about it, like, it's like, okay, the guy's walking around this like giant ass house in the next video. It's like, wouldn't you just put your bookcases in like one of like the 50 rooms in the fucking house? Or like, wouldn't you just put in like the foyer or somewhere or wherever? But nonetheless, whatever. That's how I knew he was a scam. But we knew someone who was like really into Tai Lopez, and the guy like made us sit there and like watch this course that he paid for. And some of the information was like decent, but it was like pretty run of the mill shit of like, oh, create an LLC, open a business bank account, um, go do this. It was all just like random fucking NPC bullshit that like everybody knows to do, or at least you could find it on Investopedia or like LegalZoom or just somewhere like that. So that kind of made me laugh because I was just like, oh well, this is all like pretty straightforward shit. Like you need a C corp or an S corp or an LLC. Like you need liability protection. It's like what any lawyer would tell you, even if they were like a shit corporate type of lawyer. for like $100 an hour or whatever. Because like the best lawyers really are like, $600 an hour and up. You could get the best lawyers in the country for like $1,000 an hour or whatever. So anyway, but it just reminded me a lot of that. And you spoke about like the affiliate marketing side of things too. He claims that there are 110,000 people in that program, which means he's making something like, what is that, 5 million a month or like 5.5 million a month gross, which I highly doubt.
I
But
mean, it's
he claims
exaggerated.
that,
It's a
yeah, of
brand
course it's,
new.
yeah. How do you know? How do you know how many people there are? He could say that, and there could be like 5,000 people. Like you would never know. He also lives in a pretty cheap country, doesn't he? Live in like Romania or something like that.
Yeah, that's another thing too. If you look at countries with the most online fraud, you got Indonesia and Romania. Indonesia has like 36% of all online transactions are fraud, and like Romania is not too far behind in the percentage of online transactions that are fraud. So if you put your credit card into his site for Hustles University, and he's based out of Romania, you got a 1 in 3 chance that the transaction that your credit card is going to be stolen and sold. Basically, they basically steal your credit card information. They sell it off. So I would be very worrisome of that.
Yeah, that was like I said, one of the things about Hustlers University that was kind of like, I don't know, like I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it does make sense, right? Like if he sets it up and he sells it as like a bullshit course, let's say 10,000 people buy it, which is very possible because he's been pulling millions of views. Let's say 10,000 people buy it, and he now has 10,000 credit cards. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Like, now he has information on the credit. Like, it's just, it seems, like there's something else going on there. But I will say this, like I thought it was interesting how he just packed up and moved there. It's like of all countries, he moved to fucking Romania. Like that doesn't make any sense. Clearly, he's got something else going on. But he also kind of spoke about that a little bit. He says he owns 14 casinos, and he got in with like a family or something that owns these casinos, and like they basically let him open these locations as like franchises, and I don't know. The whole thing seems pretty sketchy to me. It's like with stake, like a lot of things with stake, like the online crypto casino, they they partner with like these other casinos. So like if you play online like live blackjack, right, and there's a dealer there, you'll notice they never have like normal names. They have like very odd names, and you could be playing at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's like daytime wherever the fuck the dealer is, and you're like, okay, they're obviously not in the States, like they're probably in Europe or wherever. But then you look and you talk to these people, and they'll be like, oh, we're in Georgia, and you're like, oh shit, the country of Georgia, like this is obviously a fucking scam, like something's going on here.
Yeah, you just gotta. I would just take the free information that he provides online. You take the free information. You take the entertainment value that you get from it, and I wouldn't put any money into the program. Like some of the stuff he says is valuable. Like he says, get different passports. That's basically a valuable thing. You don't want to be under control of one government. That's something that he said is true. He said a couple of like good things like that, but you don't really need to be in the program to get the valuable information. I saw like the program, it teaches you about copywriting and like stock picks in crypto. Like that that's not something that would be valuable to me. I don't know about you. What am I going to do with copywriting?
Yeah, I would never use copywriting, and to be honest with you, people always kind of look at that. You know how it's like people, maybe you've met people like this, but they're like the fake entrepreneurs, like the term for them that's thrown around colloquially is entrepreneurs. They're like people who want to be entrepreneurs, but it's like a show, it's like an act, but they actually don't like do anything, they don't take any action. So like some of the people I know who are entrepreneurs, like they were like, oh, copywriting is it's just all bullshit or whatever. And that's just something that everyone says to do, like online. They're like, "Oh, you need money? Do copywriting." And it's just like, "Okay, dude, like fuck off. Like go sell Cutco knives." At that point, it's just a joke. But as far as what you said, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Just take everything he says it at face value and just kind of look at it through the lens of like, okay, this guy, he clearly wouldn't be doing this unless there was some other motive for him to make money or some other motive for him to gain in the situation. And then there's the other thing. I don't know if you saw this one. It's called like the War Room. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, it's basically like this. It's so-called like collective of people that you could go to or basically contact to help you out in any situation or something like that. You got to pay a certain amount per month to use it or to have this net, and they have like networking events that they set up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a whole collective of like ultra high net worth individuals, allegedly ultra high net worth individuals. I think they're probably, high net worth individuals, but I don't know if I'd say they're ultra high net worth. Ultra high net worth being, 50 million and up, whatever the case may be. But I think that I think that's a good thought. Excuse me. I think that's a good thought process to have people like that in your circle, or to try to at least strive to have ultra driven and ultra successful people in your orbit and people in your ear, whether that be mentors or like friends. I think that's really important. But at the same time, I don't think you should like pay to get in a situation like that, or, you know, do whatever to get in a situation like that. I think you could build up that network on your own without other people, and it'll be more genuine. And, you could kind of do that genuinely. Um, I don't think you need to pay to like join a group or pay to join a club. Now, if you're talking about like, you join the Freemasons or you join Rotary or you join whatever, and that's how you're able to meet some of those people and then start the network, I think that's a good place to start. But I don't think that's a place like, where you want to like end, if that makes sense. Like you kind of do those things so you meet people and you're introduced to people with, different circumstances. But the main thing is like you kind of use that as the bridge, and then once you cross the bridge, then it's like your relationship with the person is like outside of that as well.
Yeah, another thing too is why would you have trust in this guy when he admitted to basically running this webcam studio, and basically he admitted to it being a total scam. There's like videos of him saying, "Oh, this is a total scam. We basically take this money away from these desperate men and these fucking these slob jobs, because they're unable to get women themselves, and we take their inheritance, we take everything they got." There's videos of him saying stuff like that. So why would you trust this other program that he put out based off of his character and his morals from the previous operation in the previous studio? And I heard he takes like a 40% cut out of these women. So you have to do an investigation into his background. How is he getting these women? Romania has a huge sex trafficking problem. So how is he getting these women to comply with these requests and such?
Yeah, he actually got rated by I think it's Interpol, which is like the European, you know, crime fighting unit that kind of investigates these things. And there was some situation where he said that it was like some girl's boyfriend or whatever that kind of told the authorities, and he was based out of the US, and then the US told Europeans, and then the Europeans told the Romanians, and then the Romanians kind of like pulled up on him, and they like confiscated all of his shit, like his computers and everything, and whatever the case may be. But I think he's out on bail in that thing, and it happened pretty recently. I think it only happened like a month or two ago, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Like a 40% cut is a little egregious. Like typically managers will get like a 10% cut, and agents will get a 10% cut of like a contract they negotiate. At least that happens in the sports world and some other worlds, in finance particularly. But I think 40% is very egregious, and I don't think any like rational fucking person would agree to 40%. That's kind of nuts. But there are like, you talk about like the webcam shit and whatever. That business model is like kind of dead at this point. It's mostly in like OnlyFans management and stuff like that. That's where you could do really well. But I think, you know, pretty reasonably, a lot of women would agree to like 10% in a situation like that, especially if you don't have anything. And I think that 10% is like pretty kind of reasonable, but you just don't want to be like a slime ball about it. I think you could do that and be a guy, but you don't have to be like a dick about it either. I
Well,
think
the
you could
thing
be
is
pretty
too.
nice to people, and I think there's a way to be ethical about it and not kind of like, make the people who pay for that stuff feel like shit, because that's not really a good thing.
Well,
Even
the
if you
point
don't
is,
agree with them, like I would never pay for anything like that. And I know, talking to you privately and stuff, and just knowing you for as long as I know you, like you wouldn't pay for anything like that either. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Like it's your life. Like I don't really care. But if I'm in the situation where I'm making money because of that, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, this guy's paying for it. Like, who gives a shit? You know, money in, money out. That's business. I wouldn't really worry about why the person's doing that. You know.
Well, the thing is too, he basically put these girls through training programs where they were told to like lie and come up with these stories like, oh, that she has a sick dog and a sick grandma, and come up with stories to basically keep these men on the, like, these sob stories to keep these men on the webcam for longer periods of time, because it's basically $4 a minute. So he would train them on how to like delay the conversation and such.
That I did not know about. That is crazy shit. Um, that guy Tristan, his brother, I saw a podcast with both of them recently, and I think it was the Fresh and Fit podcast. Like one of his appearances on there from like November of 2021, and his brother Tristan basically said like he trained people on there that would like message or whatever in the chats, that he said that he almost had to train them to be like psychologists to talk people out of like killing themselves, kind of, or like self harm. I guess we'll call it self harm because I don't need to get fucking demonetized. But yeah, I think he said that, and he seemed very genuine in saying that. But I would not be surprised if it was in a case where he kind of said that, but the real reason he did that is because it's like, oh no, this guy's gonna die. Like we're gonna lose money from him, like that type of thing. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it was talking people out of doing something harmful just for the sake of like keeping them around and keeping them as like, you know, like a constant flow of income coming in.